She said.
Big guy, I'm skinny guy.
Kelly? Hi, Patricia. Nice to meet you. Kelly. Some of the stuff I created. A voice.
Oh, I picked up on it.
Oh, yeah.
We had a couple of those. I was very thankful.
Oh. The meeting will be on shortly, but we don't. Is that? Nice. Thank you.
Meeting.
Yes, yeah. Yeah.
And to celebrate Christmas, so that we don't get it.
Okay. You're okay, I'm seeing.
Yes. I kind of looked at it and everything. Sorry, making it sound like. I was trying to see if they were changed there. So I kind of reset it.
Yeah, and then other space. That's the reason.
I mean, no, I kind of.
Yeah, 2 weeks in a row.
What's going on there? The thing is. My quarrel. Texted me, so. Yeah, you know, probably. Yeah. It's a white. We're gonna be doing. So. And they're, wow.
Sheila is the vice president, and she's also the liaison to the trustees, and this is Paul, and it's so nice that.
Nice to meet you guys. Come to our book fair. Yes.
Are you doing it here this year?
No, it's at the senior center. That's why we did the Boy Scout shows.
I know, it's good to such with it.
I spotted you doing a yellow card.
Yeah, she said. I pull up right here. Every single day.
But you don't have it.
Long.
So. It's important.
Long coat, whatever, so now she's taking that, and now she's on, and it's a viral thing.
With me.
Yes. Yes. We have more. Yes, we do. Again.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Diane Stam. I'm the president of the Lucy Robbins Wells Library Board of Trustees. And tonight you have the pleasure of attending 2 meetings if you so desire. Of course, that's only for our audience, our board members need to be here. But we will start tonight 6 o'clock with our regular board meeting. It is an abbreviated meeting because we like to finish by about 6:45 to give our technology time to keep up with our schedule. So they'll have to shut down this meeting and then open another one. Some of our reports, like our treasurer's report, will actually be given during the annual meeting portion, so you're not really missing much. We're just pushing things around or delaying things. So again, thank you for your participation here tonight. And I will turn it over to Elizabeth for our roll call.
George Bernaldo,
Here.
Andy Breckner,
August 20.
Kelly DeHaas, here, Anna Eddy, Pam Canary, Colleen Crook,
Here.
Iris Larson, Leanne Menke, here, Maureen O'Connor Lyons,
Here.
Chris Riley,
Here.
Neil Ryan, Christine Shushin,
Here.
Diane Stam,
Here.
Lisa Maston,
Here.
Karen Benner,
Here.
Sheila Rowell,
Here.
David Nagel,
Here.
and Kim Rana.
Here.
Thank you. So we do have a quorum for our meeting tonight, and we can get started. Public participation. Do we have anybody from the public who would like to speak at this point? No, seeing none in the room. Anybody online? I can't really see the screen over there, so if you see somebody wildly waving their hands, I've got Karen on it, but she can always use assistance, so let me know from that end. Town council liaisons. We have both Kim Rada and Dave Nagel here from town council. They are our liaisons to the council and help bring back information or questions that we have. Do either of you have anything to report or share this evening?
I don't think nothing at this time unless Vicky, you do.
Well, the only thing indirectly related to the library is that the majority of the council moved the bonding resolution for to go to referendum for the Parks and Rec plan for a new pool and splash pads at both parks of the here at Mill Pond. So that indirectly is of interest to the board.
Okay, so that will be on referendum
Yes.
for 2024.
Yeah.
Thank you. Next up is the secretary's report. Iris is not with us tonight. She's our current secretary, so I'll ask if there were any changes or updates to our last board meeting on June 10th, 2024.
I don't know if I ever mentioned this. We, the board, did send a card to Michelle Boyer and her family. And for her family.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion to accept the meeting minutes of June 10th.
Thank you, Leanne. Does anyone second the motion?
Second, Maureen.
Thank you, Maureen. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I have to abstain because I was at the meeting.
Thank you, Neil. Okay, motion carries forward. Thank you very much.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of the August 20th special meeting.
Okay. We also have a motion to accept the minutes of the August 20th special meeting.
It was shared.
It was in the email. Thank you, George, for seconding that. Any discussion? All those in favor? Any opposed?
I have to abstain again. I wasn't.
Okay, Neil.
I'm also abstaining.
Pauline Crook is abstaining, Neil is abstaining,
Kelly is abstaining as well.
and Kelly's abstaining. She's not quite on the board yet. This is her first night with us, so let's hope we impress her. All right. Any nays?
Ooh.
No, very good. Then we will accept the meeting minutes from August 20th, that special meeting. Yeah. Review of the annual activities calendar and committee assignments. As many of you are aware, in September, we have our annual meeting, and that's one of the reasons we're here tonight. Some of the other items that are coming up in September is we have one of our George G. Kano events, and that is in September, on September 23rd. It's September 27th, on a Friday evening here at the library. So I hope if you guys are available that you can come out. Certainly we are looking for board support to run that meeting or help set up for that event, and we'll get to that a little bit later on in the night. So check your calendars. And in October is when we normally do our committee assignments. So if you have not filled out the forms and passed them in from last June on the committees that you would like to serve on as a board member, going forward, please do so because the, president will be setting up the committee assignments and those start in October. The current committee chairs and committee assignments hold through until then. We have that, one other announcement I want to make in September, we will be having another facility special meeting on Monday, 9/23. I know I got the dates mixed up. Okay, so just an FYI there. Normally at this time, we do the treasurer's report. Leanne Menke, will you be postponing that until the annual meeting?
I can do that. Just for the sake of the business meeting, they've been distributed for the months that we didn't meet as well as this, past August, so we're up to date on all of the accounts. I can do the balances at the time of the annual.
Thank you. So the monthly reports from the summer were distributed earlier in an email, so we are up to date from an accounting standpoint, and we'll get the whole account at the annual meeting. Library director's report.
Hi, everyone. We had a very busy summer the past few months. A lot of our programs, especially the children's and teens, were full. They filled up right away. Sometimes we could add a second program if possible. The summer meeting, they all ended towards the end of August. Children's had 509 children participate, teens had 192, and adults had 986.
Wow.
So everybody's numbers are up, which is really great. We're doing a redesign of the children's office, probably in November. We're ordering the furniture. This is money that we got from some of the ARPA funds. So that is gonna be happening in the next couple of months.
So that's the very crowded
So
staff
very crowded
office
staff
tucked
space
up
there,
there.
right, that one person doesn't have a desk. We had our book challenge over the summer. And so we followed the policy. The library does have a policy on how to handle it when somebody does have a concern about a book in the collection. So we filled out the form and we followed the policy, and I responded to them as well. So that's something that that it's kind of unnerving when you get one, to be honest, but we haven't heard back from the person since I've responded to them. And if you go into under the atrium, we replaced the chairs. We have new chairs. And we replaced all the seating chairs around the new book area as well. They came in this last week, right? So those look really nice. And just a reminder, going out on medical leave on Friday for more than a few weeks. But I'll be back as soon as I can.
All right, take care of yourself. Assistant director reports, Karen Benner, we now know that your September and October will be even busier.
A little busy, but that's all right. The new virtual author program that we talked about, the talk series, is really popular. Our numbers are increasing for people who are watching live. We have an amazing amount of people who watch the recordings, which is wonderful. So in September, we have 3 best-selling authors coming up. So go to the website if you're interested and sign up. It's really easy. Just a mention of one of them is a deep dive in character development with global sensation Leanne Moriarty. And so you might know her for being the author of Big Little Lies in that series. So that should be awesome. And also with the assistive technology project, the grant that we have been talking about that we received, we have all of the equipment and devices in. We are getting them cataloged and writing up instructions, but we have some high tech and some low tech options. They're really going to help people in programs within the library who are hearing impaired, visually impaired, and we'll be sharing more information with you on that when we get to that point, when it's ready to be rolled out. But we're almost there, so we're pretty excited about that. Thank you.
Super, thank you, Karen. Friends of the library, Sheila Rao.
We are gearing up for our next fall book sale, which starts on the 23rd of October. Unusual place across the street. We have a lot of books We've got a lot of very large donations, thanks to Christine. We got a huge donation from Prince Tech school, kind of Harvard schools and reading the libraries. So we got a lot of books from there. And the good part of that is that they're in one language. They're Spanish. We also have a huge Polish donation of books, American authors in Polish. So I'm getting ready to put that on sale.
Sheila, is that, I haven't, I've certainly been around for years with book sales, but is that something you would advertise ahead of time about the foreign language
Yeah.
books that you have?
Yeah, we'll try to get something up there. We don't know until we get the donations what we have, but, so this one, we seem to be getting a lot of very large donations, very large, group of children's books, lots of picture books. Beautiful picture books, and we got so many of them, we actually had a pop-up sale, in August upstairs, because they just, we didn't like that, and we wanted to put them there. We wanted people to actually get them, so, and that did well.
Thank you.
That's great, because I think in June you were telling people, clean out your bookcases and bring the books down, so it's good to know that you have so much to pick from.
Hold on.
Perfect. Okay, any other questions for Sheila? Thank you. Next, we'll go on to committee reports, budget. We don't have a budget report at this time of year. PEP, planning, evaluation, and policy, Pauline Cruff.
And I have, several things going on. I had a busy summer. But there's a couple policies that I want to rework and we started. So any new member, are gonna be on the PEP committee. Those that, I will be reminding people. I'll try to find a date that the library is open so we can meet here. And I also have the library director evaluation that will be finished before the meeting in October. That will go out to you for review.
Super. Thank you, Pauline. Does anyone have questions for Pauline? No? Thank you. Investment committee, Neil Ryan.
Yes, I'll be quick because of time. I mailed out 2 reports early today. One is the monthly investment report for our portfolio, and August was a good month. We raised about we gained about $8,500 for the month. As of August 30th, 2024, our portfolio balance was at $824,960.27, which represents about 7.5% up for the year. So we're doing well for the year, for the calendar year. That's that report. And then the other report I sent out earlier this afternoon, I don't know if you got a chance to read it. This is just a report of the investment committee meeting that we had on August 14th. And I don't want to go into great detail, but if you read it, we received 3 substantial legacy contributions. I don't know if anyone read the report, but it's Isabel Hooker, Hooker something or other. But
It's a irrevocable trust, and we don't have any of the money yet, we've been
Right.
notified.
her full name was Isabella something Hooker.
Yeah, but she's the one who died, the original trustee is Margaret.
Okay. Well, that was the
Once
name.
Isabel passed, the trust is dissolving.
But the bottom line is, we're gonna be receiving roughly near $350,000. And it's unrestricted. The only requirement is that the principal be maintained. Second, we see the very nice donation contribution from Patty Foley, former library board member, recently passed away. She left $13,355 for the library. And third, a couple named Johnson, and we don't have much information on them, but in the form of an irrevocable trust, they left about $98,000 to the library. And again, it's all for unrestricted use. So it was like a gift from heaven, this money. We're talking about $450,000.
Well, the thing about the Hooker one, though, you have to keep in mind is that the principal has to stay invested.
right.
We can use the income.
Yeah, we can start. But it's money like 6 months ago. We really know this was coming, so this has been a fabulous windfall to us. And that was basically the summary about the investment committee meeting, because that's just been most of our time talking. Going forward, not looking to make any radical changes right now. We're feeling pretty solid where we are. That's it.
Thank you. So if I'm summarizing this correctly, we've been notified that we will be receiving these legacy funds. And at the meeting, we discussed how we might invest them and what portions of that money, as Leanne stated, there are portions due to the way the legacy was set up, that the initial principal stays intact and we can spend the interest. But it's nice that it's unrestricted because that means we can spend the money where it's needed.
By late in the year and early next year, I think we see all three of them. Sometime next year, sometime next year.
The only one that might be in question, I think we'll have, Patty's is finishing up this year. I think it'll be within 2024. The irrevocable, trust that is dissolving from the Hooker from the last beneficiary passing, they're still waiting. They have to have all the beneficiaries sign off and they're still waiting on two. So that hopefully will be done. And then, the Johnson one, I would say that's probably just from the way probate runs can be 1 to 2 years. So it might be next year or even into early 2026.
Cool. All right, great.
Thank you. Investment committee, thank you, Neil, for the investment committee. House would be me, Diane Stam, and Lisa already mentioned that they had replaced some of the furniture in the area underneath the atrium. It's our secondary quiet reading area or browsing area if you'd like. So make sure you take a look at that when you go through, and other things for House are on hold for now. But remember, in the November timeframe, right after our committee assignments have been set up in October, and hopefully before the snow flies, we usually have an annual walkthrough for our library, and all board members are invited, of course, to go through that. And that's kind of where we look behind the corners and see what needs to happen and make our list for improvements for the year. Facility and site. Oh, sorry, does anybody have any questions on that? Thank you. Facility and site, Noreen Lyons.
As you mentioned, Diane, we had a special meeting on August 20th. The minutes have been shared with the board, and I will be sharing them with the architect and his associates. I'll send those out tomorrow. We have another special meeting planned for September 23rd. And that was at the request of the board from this last meeting. And this, for new members and those who aren't familiar, this is plans for our future expansion that we're discussing. And so that will be, hopefully we'll get some issues resolved on the 23rd. And there'll be more to come.
Thank you. Any questions for Maureen? Thank you. Fund development, Anna Eddy. I'm just going to say that Neil nicely gave an overview of some of the legacy monies that are expected in. Unfortunately, Anna caught COVID. She called me, and if it wasn't for caller ID, I wouldn't have known who she was. So the poor thing is home resting, and we wish her the best. But in terms of the fund development, we have been notified that some legacy donations should be coming to fruition for us over the next, I'm gonna say 6 to 12 months. You never know when probate gets involved. Could be quick, it could be not so quick. Okay, nominations.
The report will be given at the annual meeting.
Thank you. Communications committee, we don't have Fiona here at this point. She unfortunately needed to resign from the board, and she was our former communications chairperson, so we will be looking for a new person to head that committee when we do our new assignments. I didn't see anybody raise their hand. Oh, good me. What happened there? Okay, so, if we look at the rest of the agenda, old business, annual meeting, of course, that's going to happen maybe this evening. We will start that at 7 o'clock. I did ask people to be brief, and as I do a time check, thank you, folks, you've been doing a stellar job as we go through that. But one of the things that's happening at the annual meeting is the recognition and write-ups that we have for folks. And for those of you that have come to many of our board meetings, we're always looking for a volunteer to read the recognition statement and help pass out the awards that we have. I'm gonna pull out another piece of paper, or I could just look here, but so board members, get ready, looking for volunteers. Quality, one out. Thank you, let me go to my other sheet where I have the list of folks. So we will be recognizing as library volunteers Lee Bradley and Pat Mahoney, so we'll look for somebody for that. Our Friends volunteer Sheila Rowell will be recognized. We have a grant recognition for the Hartford Foundation of Public Giving in Newington, so we'll be looking for somebody to read that. Corporate recognition is for Saputo. Race recognition is for our Newington Chamber of Commerce and American Eagle Financial Credit Union, and Ron Tremadio, who, as you know, has been doing the race as long as we've been doing the race and puts in a huge amount of effort. And Chris Riley can attest to that. This year I said, we got this guy Ron, he comes every year, he does all this stuff. You could really use, another set of hands. You wanna do that? He said, well, what is it? I said, well, you gotta get here even earlier than everybody else gets here to help set up tables and do that. Chris was a champion. He worked through the whole thing and he was like, I can't believe how much this guy got. So, again, these are the folks that we're looking, to honor this evening, and I'm looking for volunteers to read. So if you have a particular interest in one or the other, or
Hartford Foundation.
Pauline wants to do the Hartford Foundation, okay?
I'll read for Ron.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
That was Chris Riley for Ron.
Yeah.
Newington Chamber, Saputo, Friends volunteer, library volunteer.
I'll just share,
I'm sorry,
I'll just share.
Sheila?
I'll do
Okay.
the chamber. That was Maureen.
So I have library volunteers, Lee Bradley and Pat Mahoney. I said those first.
Okay, for that.
Neil, okay. You do both? No. Yeah, will you do both? You do both? Will you both Pat Mahoney and Lee Bradley?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's one.
No,
Speak.
it's two.
No, it's two. Well, it's three facts.
Can I have somebody else do a reading or help out, Pam? I'll do Pam. So,
Well, I'll read for Lee rather.
you'll read for Lee, okay, Neil,
Like
and
the-
Pam, you'll get Pat.
What's his name?
Pat Mahoney.
Sure.
Patricia. That's not the way it's written on my paper now. And then we have the legacy inductee, Maureen Oliver and her family. George, great, thank you. Just want to check and make sure that I have a name for everybody. The corporate recognition for Saputo. Leanne? It's not easy doing this up here. Okay,
Wait, did you do American Eagle?
no, they were combined together, so American Eagle? We run out of people. Chris, thank you. Okay. So we have our assignments for our board portion of the annual meeting. Just want to remind folks that we are having our one of our two Hanel events coming up on September 27th. It is a Friday. Our doors will open to the public at 6:30. See, I'm trainable. At 6:30, and we need volunteers from the board to help push all of the carts with the books in the back and help set up the chairs. And then at the end, we need to take down the chairs and then bring all the books back. Yeah, okay. What's the best time for us to get here in the evening for setup? We're open until 5, right?
Right, usually we start around 4.
You start around 4? So is anybody available to be here at 4?
Probably can come early, I can't stay for the night, but I think.
Okay, so Colleen, Pam, Leanne.
Did you want food for that night, you know?
Yeah, I think, again, you know, since COVID, we do a lot of the prepackaged things, right? Could we do that?
Oh, yeah, I mean,
If you have food, I mean, you can serve it too, if you want to serve cookies or something. Sometimes you do it that way as well.
So how does the board feel about that? Are we doing the prepackaged cookies? Are we doing cookies being served? We need the people to serve it and napkins to put it on and stuff. It's not that we can't do it. Prepackaged, okay. That makes it easier too. We don't need as many volunteers to stand behind. So I've got 3 people that are signed up to come in earlier to do the setup. For those of us that might have to work until 5 or 5:30, please come and help do some of the cleanup later on in the evening, if you can, if your schedules permit. I'll be here as soon as I can, probably not 4 o'clock, but
I'll be here early, I don't know, but I can do it.
okay. So again, what we're gonna be doing ahead of time is we'll be setting up the snacks. We'll be pushing the books on the rolling carts into the back in the staff area, and then we'll be pulling out the chairs and setting those up. The entertainment for the evening will be coming in and setting up their equipment, doing some checks and stuff like that. Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay, open board positions. First, I'd like to introduce our board, and it's a little hard this way, Kelly, I apologize. Usually we're in a big table all together so you can see the faces. But we're auditorium style because of the annual meeting. But Kelly DeHaas is a brand new board member for us. This is her first night. And you'll see some of the names and know what's happening, going on there. And she is a Republican town appointee board member. And as an aside, for those of you who may not know, the library board is made up of folks from 3 different sections. So we have corporate members, and those are the members that can be officers of the library board. And then we have Democratic town appointees and Republican town appointees. When you're all said and done, we should have 15 members on the board as it goes through from that end. Okay, so welcome, ask questions. Certainly you can ask questions now, or you can even say, oh my God, what were you talking about 2 hours ago? I need to find out what that is. But it looks like most of the board members and town council are sitting on this side, so look around and you'll see the faces and you can approach any of us. So welcome, and did I mention that we do still have 2 positions open, 1 corporate position and 1 Republican town appointee position. Okay, if you're interested, if you know anybody that's interested, if you want to talk anybody into it, once you're successful in that, if you have them reach out either to me or to Lisa to begin the conversation and or the Republican town committee head, we can have those conversations and make that happen. So new business, we don't have anything on the agenda for new business. I'm looking over just to make sure I don't miss anything. Anybody on the public participation? I'll ask again if anybody here or online has questions or would like to take a moment to speak to the board. I don't see any in the room. Is there anybody online? No. Okay, no public participation. Well then, this is the fastest meeting we've ever had. I'll ask for a motion for adjournment.
So move, Maureen.
May I have a second?
Second.
Which Chris is gonna win? They both raised their hand. Chris Ryder seconded. Any discussion? No? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Please help yourselves. We will be shutting down this portion, of the Zoom meetings for anybody who might be remote. If you're planning to join our annual meeting, you have to hang up from this conference and then join the annual meeting that starts at 7. And for those of you in the room, remember, just a little bit before 7, when we're rocking out here and punching cookies, we're gonna start the recording so that we can get everything set up to start at 7. So careful what you say. Thank you, everyone.